Welcome to Meditations from the Mound, a ministry of the Chestnut Mound Church of Christ located in Chestnut Mound, Tennessee. My name is Carver Moore, and I'm one of the ministers for the Chestnut Mound congregation. And continuing our weekly theme of answering commonly asked Bible questions, I want us to look at this week, answer the question of why do bad things happen to good people? Friends, maybe some of you are going through rough times in your life. Maybe some of you have been through rough times. Maybe some of you know people that are good people, that follow, faithful followers of the gospel of Christ. And they're going through tough times. Well, friends, I want to introduce you. And I know that most of you are going to be already familiar with this man, but Job is one that we often talk about when we are trying to explain to people why bad things happen to good people and how to deal with bad things that happen to you, how to respond in the correct manner. And friends, Job, of course, we find his story in his own book in our Old Testament. And the book is 42 chapters long, and we see from the beginning of that book in Job chapter number 1 through the end of that book in Job chapter number 42, the devil keeps throwing things at this man. And God allows God allows the devil to do this to Job because God wanted to see how strong Job's faith was in him. And we see that Job never allows his faith in God to waver. Even through the loss of material possessions, the loss of children, the loss of friends, even his wife. The one person that should have stood by Job, even she in Job chapter number 2 and verse number 9 looked at him and told him to curse God and die. Even she turned her back on Job. But you know what? Who never turned his back on Job? That was God. And in turn, Job never turned his back on him either. Do we do that when we're faced with difficult times? When difficult times inevitably come, do we turn our backs on God? When the world turns their backs on us, do we turn our back on God? Do we have a pity party for ourselves? Or do we make the best of a bad situation? I want you to take your Bibles, because bad times, no matter how righteous somebody is or no matter how unrighteous somebody is, bad times are inevitably going to happen to each and every person here on this earth. I want you to take your Bibles, locate those if you haven't done so already, and turn over with me to the book of Romans, chapter number 2 and verse number 17. That's Romans chapter number 2 and verse number 17. Romans 2 and verse number 17. Paul tells the church at Rome and us today, he says, "For there is no partiality," friends, watch this, "for there is no partiality with God." God is no respecter of persons. He doesn't care. He doesn't care how righteous you are. He doesn't care how unrighteous you are. There are things that's going to happen to us in our lives. But friends, we've got the Word. We have the ability to choose how we're going to respond when bad things happen. But friends, as Paul tells us in Romans 2 and verse number 11, God shows no partiality. And that may sound harsh, but He wants us all to live out and work out our own salvation. We're all responsible for our souls. We're free moral agents. But even though that this may sound harsh, I want you to look at Paul's words just a few chapters over in Romans 8 and verse number 28. In Romans 8 and verse number 28, this verse should be familiar to each and every one of you. But in Romans 8 and verse number 28, it says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose." Friends, even though that God shows no partiality, as Paul tells us a few chapters back, God is going to He's got a plan for each one of us. All things work together for good to those who love God. As long as we love God, as long as we put our trust in God, everything's going to work together for good. Think about that. The next time that you face a difficult situation in your life, don't have a pity party for yourself. Instead, friends, make the best of that bad situation. I want to also leave you as we close tonight with James's words. In James chapter number 5 and verse number 17. James chapter number 5 in verse number 10 and verse number 11. James 5, verse number 10 and verse number 11. It says, My brethren, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord as an example of suffering and patience. Indeed, we count them blessed, friends, watch this, who endure. You have heard of the perseverance of Job and seen the end intended by the Lord, that the Lord is very compassionate and merciful. Isn't that comforting? No matter, friends, what I want you to take from this short meditation from the mountain, this short devotional tonight, is that as long as you put your faith in God, as long as you practice patience, practice perseverance like Job did, it's all gonna work out. So, friends, let's go back to Job, if I may. We see at the end of Job's book, in chapter number 42 of the book of Job, we see that because of Job's faith in God, his unwavering faith, his unwavering trust in God, he is blessed. He receives all the things that he lost. He gains them back, but he gains them back doubled. He gets 2 of everything just because of his faith in God. Friends, doesn't that give us motivation to trust God in every situation that we face, whether it's a good situation or a bad one? Friends, think about that this week. Think about that as you go throughout the back half of your week. I hope that you'll consider these thoughts tonight. Friends, thank you so much for watching. If we can help you in any way spiritually, if you would like to sit down and study the Bible, we would love for you to reach out to us at the Chestnut Mound Church of Christ. Maybe you're in search of a place to worship. We would love to see you at our worship services sometime soon at the Chestnut Mound Church of Christ. Friends, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and may God bless you.